What is up, guys? Dzeeff here, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard the very funny phrase, blue eyes has power, but red eyes has potential. It's kind of a well-known thing in the Yu-Gi-Oh community that it seems like Konami likes supporting Dark Magician and Blue Eyes a lot more than they like supporting the Red Eyes deck. Think about it, Blue Eyes won a World Championship in 2016, and then after that they continued to be a meta deck for a little while, and Dark Magician, while it's never been a tier 1 contender, it does have a lot of tools to be a good rogue deck. However, with the Red Eyes deck, it seems like Konami could never quite figure out what they wanted the deck to do. You have burn cards, you have OTK cards, you have control cards. There's not really a coherent strategy with the Red Eyes archetype. However, in today's video, I want to try to win with Red Eyes. Now, I should mention here that when building a Red Eyes deck, you have to ask yourself, how many cards do I want to put in here that are from the Dragon Link combo deck? Now, Red Eyes is obviously a dragon deck, and Dragon Link, even if you don't know a lot about it, that's a dragon deck as well. So there are a lot of overlapping support cards that work well in both strategies. But it does get to a point where if you put too many Dragon Link cards in your Red Eyes deck, it's more of a Dragon Link deck with Red Eyes support rather than a Red Eyes deck with Dragon Link support. So in today's video, I've tried to build a deck list that, for the most part, is a Red Eyes deck. I've tried to include as few Dragon Link cards as possible, but I think you still need to play a few of them to make the deck as competitive as possible while still maintaining its status as a true Red Eyes deck. We are trying to summon Red Eyes, we are trying to summon rank 7 monsters, but we do have some Dragon Link support in there as well. I'll make sure to show you guys the deck list here and you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. In the side deck, we actually have a few other cards that are from Dragon Link that you could include in your Red Eyes deck, depending on how many Dragon Link cards you are comfortable with playing. Personally though, I think in the main deck right now, I have basically the bare minimum amount of Dragon Link cards if you want to play a semi-competitive Red Eyes deck. So we have, of course, 3 copies of Red Eyes Black Dragon, the main star of the deck, 1 copy of Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon, because sometimes you do need a monster in the deck to special summon with your stone, 3 copies of Black Metal Dragon, probably the best normal summon in the entire deck, 3 copies of the Black Stone of Legend. Like I said, sometimes you need this in here because you can actually burn through the Red Eyes in deck pretty fast. 1 copy of Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, of course, 1 copy of Red Eyes Wyvern, which you can send with Red Eyes Insight, 1 copy of Dark Magician, because at this point, at least, if you are playing a competitive Red Eyes deck or a competitive Dark Magician deck, they are going to include Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. That card is too good not to play in decks like this. 1 copy of Tempest, this is a great level 7 monster in this deck, 3 copies of Noctovision Dragon, fantastic card, 3 copies of Tenyi Spirit Vishuda. It is not a dragon monster, unfortunately, so it does not work with the Noctovision special summon effect, but it is a level 7 monster and it does have a good graveyard effect. A lot of this deck actually began with a Dark Arm Duelist deck profile, and Vishuda was one of my favorite cards in their list. For the small Dragon Link package, I do believe you have to play these cards if you want to play this deck at any sort of competitive level, but I am trying to play the bare minimum here. We have 1 copy of Tracer, 1 copy of Recharger, 1 copy of Synchron, and then 1 card you might not be super familiar with is Exploder Rocket Dragon. So this one is only played because it is a level 7 monster, so we can go into rank 7s with it. We also have 3 copies of Red Eyes Insight, of course, 1 copy of Red Eyes Fusion. You could theoretically play more copies of this card, but I think this deck is trying to set up multiple negates. You're not really trying to hard activate the Red Eyes Fusion. So for me personally, I think 1 copy is just fine, but feel free to play around with the numbers of that card. It's not a bad card to just hard activate, but your deck can usually set up like 2 or 3 interactions with your opponent, so you don't really need to draw the Red Eyes Fusion to get a negate on the board. We also have 1 copy of Magicalized Fusion, a very cool card. This allows you to summon a 2nd copy of Dragoon pretty easily. We also have 1 copy of Boot Sector Launch, of course, 3 copies of Quick Launch, which is very good in this deck. You have a lot of different targets. 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet. I think this card is great in this deck if you can afford it. Feel free to play other cards if you can't afford it though. We also play 1 copy of Monster Born and 1 copy of Return of the Dragon Lords, which is essentially a 2nd copy of Monster Born. It's a little bit more restrictive, but for the most part, because you play so many level 7 dragon monsters, this card is pretty close to Monster Born in a lot of situations. We also play 1 copy of Red Eye Spirit and 1 copy of Red Eye's Fang with Chain. I don't love love playing both of these cards, but you do need to search a spell or trap with the Red Eyes Insight. So in most combos, you are sending the fusion to the graveyard with your Anaconda, so Insight has to add something besides fusion. So if you only play like one copy of Red Eyes Fang with Chain and no copies of Red Eyes Spirit, sometimes you can draw the Chain and then your Insights are all completely dead because you don't want to add the fusion to your hand. You want to send it with Anaconda. So I think that playing 2 targets is the right choice, but feel free to mess around with this a little bit. For the extra deck, real quick here, we have Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, 1 copy of the Darkest Dragon Doom Rider, I like this card a lot, 1 copy of number 11 Big Eye, 1 copy of Dark Armed, the Dragon of Annihilation, 1 copy of number 89, the prize card that was recently reprinted, 1 copy of Borreload Savage Dragon, super easy to make, 2 copies of Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, because like I said, with the Magicalized Fusion, you actually can summon a second copy of this card pretty reliably. For the Link monsters, we have Striker Dragon, Link Kribo, Monk of the Tenyi, of course, 1 copy of Link Spider, 1 copy of Anaconda, 1 copy of Hieratic Seal, and 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn. This side deck isn't like an actual side deck. These are just some more like Dragon Link cards that you could play in your deck if you don't mind putting more Dragon Link cards in there. I think these cards are very good, but like I said, it's kind of a weird balancing act where it's like, do you want to play a Dragon Link deck with Red Eyes support, or do you want to play a Red Eyes deck with Dragon Link support? I thought for today's video, I should try to play a Red Eyes deck with Dragon Link support, not the other way around. Anyway, I think this deck list is actually pretty good. I've been working on it for about a month now, and I hope you guys enjoy the clips in today's video. All right, we'll pick scissors. Okay, tie, sure. We'll go to rock. Okay, they picked rock. This is always where I don't know what to do. Do you go with paper, complete the cycle, or do you go to scissors because they're gonna go to paper? I don't know, I'll pick scissors. Dang it, they're in my head. Stop, okay, come on, please. Okay, we did it. We're gonna go first. Let's see here. Oh no, this hand is so bad. I think we only have 1 play, yeah. Activate Red Eyes Fusion, hope they don't have Ash. Now luckily, we can send a Red Eyes from the deck there, so we're not taking as big of a minus as we would normally because we can keep this one in hand, but I'm not very confident that 1 Dragoon is going to be enough to win this. In fact, while Dragoon by itself might have been enough to win in maybe some cases a little while ago, nowadays it's not really that good. I'm just going to have to negate this when he actually activates the effect. I doubt that we can beat this deck. This deck is going to have... Oh, can't you not special summon when you use the Flunderies effects? So if I just negate the on-field effect of this card, he gets like really messed up. I'm pretty sure you can't special summon the turn you use the Flunder effects. So if I negate the Ecclesia right here, can't really do anything, right? Set 4 and pass. I almost think keeping 1 card in hand as a bluff would have been better than setting 4, because now I know he doesn't have like a card to summon with this card. Yeah, so from here, we can, I think, Monster Reborn in the only non-impermanence column. Bring back the Red Eyes. Could be pretty good. That'll trigger the Nocto Vision Dragon, which can then special summon itself. Oh, we do get Punishment. I don't think any of the cards that he can send right here get him any value, so I think we're fine with that. He has none of the Tri-type cards banished or in the grave right now, so he can't really use the Tri-Brigade cards too well. And then Atis popping this card doesn't really matter. We'll just keep attacking with Dragoon. Broken. See, this is kind of what it's like playing Dark Magician or Red Eyes in 2021. When you don't draw like well, you just like summon Dragoon and hope it gets in there. They have to draw a normal summon right here, and even then, 1 normal summon won't actually be enough. Yeah. So we can Dragoon that, and then hopefully that'll be game. I don't know what his face downs could be that can deal with Dragoon. Yeah, that'll be game right there. So not the most exciting in terms of our first turn combo, but we did get the win. All right, we are going first. Let's see what we drew. Okay, so this hand is going to end on Savage plus Dragoon, which is definitely not bad if I'm being honest here. So we'll go for Quick Launch right here. Quick Launch is quite good in this deck. It is probably one of the most relevant cards in this deck because it is either a 1-card Borreload Savage Dragon, or it can put 2 materials on the board for other types of cards. It can put a level 7 on the board, which is pretty good. So definitely one of the better cards in this deck. So we're going to go for the Striker Dragon, of course. Activate the Striker Dragon. add the boot sector launch. We're going to get drolled. Okay. Fortunately, that does not really matter at this point. We are not playing Dragon Link, where Droll would be crippling. We are playing Red Eyes, so we don't really care about that. Go for this. Pop itself. Add back Tracer. Pretty easy. Go for the boot sector. Special Tracer. Tracer effect. Pop the boot sector. Special summon the Recharger from our deck. Pretty good. And then we can go into the Borreload Savage Dragon. Now, it'll only have the one counter, which isn't as good as you might see it in other decks, but it's still pretty good. It is still that one negation, and it'll be at 35. From here, we'll go normal summon the stone. There's no reason to use the stone effect, so we will go for Anaconda. Unfortunately, we are under Droll, so we cannot draw one card with the Noctovision, but that's okay. So send the Fusion, summon Dragoon, sending Dark Magician and Red Eyes from our deck. It's kind of up to debate here if it's worth setting the Red Eyes Fang with Chain. At the moment, we do not have any cards that it could equip to, so I'm probably just going to keep it in hand to potentially discard with the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Yeah, the tough part about Red Eyes Fang with Chain is that it does have to target a Red Eyes monster you control, and Red Eyes Dark Dragoon cannot be targeted by any card effect, not just your opponent's card effects. So yeah, but this card is good. I have gotten some pretty cool moments with this card on stream before. Okay, so he's imperming. I guess I'll negate that. We're going to negate the Tour Guide. This forces him to have 2 extenders in hand that don't require your normal summon, which he probably does not. Okay. And the really funny part here is that you guys are going to see double Dragoon, although I'm assuming that at least one of these is a Fog Blade. This is probably Phantom Knights. But we're going to go ahead and activate the Anaconda, sending Magical Ice Fusion. This forces him to have a negation card, actually 2 negation cards, because we can Dragoon one of them. Oh, no interaction. Okay, nice. So the Magical Ice Fusion is basically a Miracle Fusion, so we can get rid of those 2 normals in our graveyard to summon a second copy of Dragoon. Notably, I don't know if you guys know this because it doesn't come up that often, but Dragoon's negation effect is not a hard once per turn. It is in fact a soft once per turn, which means if you have 2 copies of Dragoon, you are able to negate with both of them. That is absolutely ridiculous. How often is it going to come up? Not very often, but when it does, it is extremely good. And unfortunately for him, by using the Trap Trick, it telegraphs that he does not have any way to deal with our board, basically. Okay, so he is going to use Fiend Griefing now. We'll just negate that one as well. Okay, and then we just attack for game. Okay, so pretty easy there. When you can summon double Dragoon, the games are not going to be too hard. And by the way, the reason he was able to use 2 trap cards right there after using Trap Trick was because Trap Trick says you can only activate 1 trap card for the rest of this turn after this card resolves, and Dragoon does in fact negate the activation, so that's why he was able to use 2 trap cards right there. Luckily, it didn't really matter. We had 2 copies of Dragoon anyway. Okay, we will play one more game here. Does Red Eyes really have potential? I think the deck is actually pretty good. Will it be a meta contender anytime soon? Absolutely not, but I think it's an okay deck, and I think it's better than people give it credit for. Like I said, the difficult part here is that the more you add in Dragon Link cards, it's less of a Red Eyes deck and it's more of a Dragon Link deck. But I think at the moment, you guys can see here, it is pretty much a Red Eyes deck. Although, admittedly, if you were just playing Dragon Links, you'd probably have a better chance of winning because they have so many good starter cards and less bricks compared to this one. But I think this deck is like alright. So we're going to do the classic combo of activate Quick Launch, Chainlink 1, activate Tracer, Chainlink 2. From here, we're going to go for the Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon triggers to add the Boot Sector launch. This is just the classic Dragon Link combo, but now we have a level 7 on the board instead of just the regular stuff. Go for the Boot Sector. This is the same combo we did not too long ago. Add back the Tracer. Activate the Boot Sector launch to special summon the Tracer. Go for Borreload Savage Dragon. From here, I think we want to go normal summon this. Do we activate the effect? Probably, because we want it in the graveyard. So we'll go activate effect, special summon a card we don't care about because we're summoning the Red Eyes. So we're going to summon the Flare Dragon, banish this to special this guy. Was that necessary? Maybe I should have just kept this in hand. Yeah, I think I should have. I don't really get any value from special summoning it. Okay. Oh well. Go for Anaconda. And then activate the Anaconda effect. See, like, the thing about this deck is that while it is, like, in my opinion, about as far to the Red Eyes side of things as you can go if you want to play a competitive deck, versus, like, playing Dragon Link with Red Eyes cards, a lot of the turns do look like just a worse version of Dragon Link, which is a little bit disappointing, but I don't know. There's only so much you can do, because if you're playing Red Eyes, like, of course you're going to play Dragoon, and the small, like, Rocket Tracer engine here is just so good. Quick Launch is so strong. Nadir Servant, okay, that is a very good card. I think we actually do have to negate that, unfortunately. Nadir Servant, I mean, that just gives him everything. Oh, he has a second one. Okay, yeah, I do have to negate that as well, unfortunately. And now I get Tactics and lose. Okay, set 1. Set 2. Oh, is this maybe like Eldritch? Okay. Oh, this card is so good in this deck. This card's really cool, though, because it revives level 5 or higher Dark Dragon monsters. And that's basically your entire deck. From here, though... Oh, I could do this. Okay, actually... Forgot about this card. So we can add this back, which allows us to normal summon this guy. That's pretty cool. Go normal summon, activate effect. Special summon this card. Unfortunately, we drew the Magicalized Fusion, so we had to discard it for our Dragoon. Otherwise, right here, we could have gone for another copy of Dragoon, which would have been pretty funny. Anyway, so from this spot, I kind of screwed up here, I feel like, because I locked myself into darks. Yeah, I don't think I should have done that. We'll go for this, using these two. Make Unicorn. Don't use the effect, I feel like. Because we need the negate. Yeah, I think I screwed up here. I should have just gone Red Eyes effect, normal summon Rocket Synchron, and make like the Hieratic Seal. That's not really that relevant though. Hilariously, we do have exactly 5 dark monsters in graveyard, which allows us to special summon the Dark Armed on top of the Borreload Savage Dragon, because we already used the negation for it. So that's pretty funny. I'm sure our opponent has probably not seen this card. Honestly, I'm not even like that good with this card. I've only summoned it a couple times. So this card pops an opponent's card and then banishes a card in my graveyard. That's basically it. So we are going to use that effect. We are going to detach the Borreload, target a face down, see what our opponent has. Oh, Solemn Strike, okay. Well, why didn't you Solemn Strike that? I don't know. As far as my card to banish, doesn't really matter, we'll get rid of that. And we can activate this. It says a lot of attack points, we'll go for this one. And then we just go into the battle phase and hope that's enough. Our opponent would have to have like 2 Mirror Forces. What the heck is this? Oh, he's playing Charmers. I just thought it was like Dogmatic Eldritch, because we only saw Nadir Servant and Solemn Strike, but it looks like it was actually a Charmer deck. Man, that's tough. Okay, so this video went pretty well, actually. I will tell you that we don't always just win 3 duels in a row with this deck, but we're going to call it there. Do you think Red Eyes has potential, or is this just like a bad Dragon Link deck? Let me know in the comments. I think it's probably just a bad Dragon Link deck, but I think it's kind of cool that you can summon some rank 7s, which I know I didn't do this game as much because the rank 7s are more for going second, but we did summon this guy, which is pretty cool, and that's actually kind of a neat card there because it can summon itself on 1 monster if you have exactly 5 darks in your grave. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you later. Goodbye.